5 years, but every next package of funds was planned on 7 years. So in 2013 we ended 7 years phase period, and on 2014 we are entering new 7 years period for new programs. So last couple of years we were preparing new European territorial cooperation programs that Serbia participates in, but actually every country in Europe was preparing it, not country but many local authorities. So it was a very exhausting process, and still in Balkan countries, in non-member states, we still are struggling with estimating or feeling the real needs of people in border areas. First programs that we had between Serbia and Bosnia and Herzegovina and Serbia and Montenegro, but actually all the first programs that we had were very wide, because it was not very easy to estimate what are the real needs for cooperation in the territories, because there are no structures that are sitting, talking together on what they need. And it is very difficult then to create a program that we funded later on. As Martin said, we are having to, in Serbia, we're having two Euro regions. We had in the last 10 years different attempts to make cross-border associations of municipalities, Drina, Sava, Majevic, Niš, Sofia, Skopje, Danube 21. We had around 10, as you said. They are functional or not, but at least it's important that people sat down, discussed, I don't know, maybe from some short period of time they were discussing and then they stopped discussing, but that means that there is awareness in Serbia of the need. So although we have two, I'm being more optimistic, to say that we are making a lot of efforts to make it to be more. So what, just to make an entrance to the first slide that I have to, that I will present, is that I have to stress is that cross-border cooperation programs, which is territorial cooperation programs, which is cross-border, transnational, and regional strength of EU funded programs, existed in Serbia from 2004. After the Thessaloniki summit, when EU has said that the Balkan countries do have perspective of becoming the new member states, EU cross-border cooperation programs were open for us as well. For the first couple of years, the programs were just with EU member states or candidate countries. So for the first three years, from 2004, 5, and 6, we used money from the CARDS program, an acronym that I don't even remember. It's reconciliation and post-war something program that was prepared only for Republic of Serbia, but yet FARE program was used by Romania and Bulgaria and Hungary, and the acronym for FARE is Poland, Hungary. This is PH in FARE. So it doesn't matter for which fund. And CARDS program was used to fund cross-border cooperation programs between Serbia and Hungary, Serbia and Romania, Serbia and Bulgaria. We had also one transnational program, that is CARDS program. In 2007, we were then more experienced, and we had this, we were EU non-member state, but candidate, with potential to be a candidate country, let's say, and we had this EU integration perspective, so European Union decided also to open programs between non-member states. So in 2007, Programs with Croatia, Bosnia and Herzegovina, and Montenegro were opened. And as Branislav had mentioned, we are now implementing 8 programs from previous financial perspective and preparing, and we are in the last phase of preparation of 8 programs for new financial perspective. Out of 8 programs that will be implemented in 2014-2020, 6 are cross-border cooperation programs and 2 are transnational cooperation programs. Later this week you will have a presentation from colleagues of mine, Natalia Matunović-Mimošević and Jelena Kolić, to go in more details. I will give you the overview of the new programs and what are the challenges for us and for you as well in implementation, future implementation. The cross-border cooperation programs that we are programming now are programs with EU member states, Croatia, Hungary, Romania and Bulgaria, and 2 programs with non-member states, Bosnia and Herzegovina and Montenegro. We are starting the discussions for operating program with Fyrom or Macedonia. The 2 transnational programs that we have are linked with one rather new and interesting initiative that EU has, very good idea. It is EU macro-regional strategies. This is also a form of cross-border cooperation. It is just wider. So new transnational cooperation programs will follow the territories of the EU macro-regional strategies, and again, like in million other situations, I'm stressing the transnational cooperation program is not tool for financing implementation of the strategy. It is a tool to support governance of the strategy and to support some of the activities that will be implemented in the course of implementation of the macro-regional strategies. 2 strategies and 2 programs actually that we will implement in the next 7 years are Danube program, that is following Danube macro-regional strategy, and Adriatic-Ionian transnational program. I wouldn't do it if I didn't believe with whole my mind and body about the beauty of it, you know. And there is your opinion about cross-border cooperation. Choose an answer. Number 4 is promises, fun and adventures. I will circle it, you know, because I'm sure that cross-border cooperation and cross-border, you know, maybe somebody who never dealt with the CBC could say, okay, they made this question, you know, or just to make fun of us, you know, and to see when somebody would be crazy, you know, to put it, you know. But I can tell you, administrative part of work is not that fun and adventurous. But the implementation of it, you know, it's fun and adventurous, really, especially in parts that never had these types of cooperation. But in 714, we had around 700 projects all around the territory. Some projects, many of the projects were about youth and cooperation. Although you will be disappointed that only in one program the thematic priority is youth issues and youth needs are envisaged throughout all the programs that we have. Youth is a focus of our attention. About mental health, in the border with Bosnia, the project was dealing with the post-conflict mental problems, and in very sensitive environment. But also we had a music project and art project that is dealing with the mental health in not a very direct way. So I don't want to say that the CBC programs are everything, you know, but really they can be one of the tools to support the needs and really to boost the cooperation, because you cannot, one cannot have the cooperation or have a normal living without interaction with other people, especially with people across the borders. These are the challenges that we had during the programming process with EU member states. Although it might be boring, but these are enormously big challenges for the governments that are still not that are still not aligned with the EU requirements in a legal way, an organizational way. So all of those things in 2007 were a big challenge, although now it doesn't seem, especially for us who are 7 years implementing it, but at the time it was a big challenge. Also, these are the results. That means that we managed to overcome the challenges. So we established 2 functional and joint technical secretariats. Each program has a joint technical secretariat, and we have 2 in the territory of Republic of Serbia for programs of Bosnia and Montenegro. We have 3 antennas, 3 info points of programs, and 1 local office. We have established systems and procedures. We managed to utilize more than 90% of funds. We managed 22 calls for proposals, and people applied with 2,742 projects. When I say we, I can say that in Serbia these are 8 civil servants. Total amount required, total amount that is 2,000, almost 3,000 projects asked for is around 300 million euros. It's much beyond the amount of money that we have available. For some programs, for program in Montenegro, for example, our annual program allocation is 500,000 euros. For programs between member states, for some programs between member states, but I hope that we will not overcome that problem in this financial perspective, because we will not have more money, a little bit more money maybe, but not substantially more money for programs with non-member states. However, for that program, for example, people asked in the call for proposal 10 times more money than we have. So it is really a huge disappointment for the applicants, you know, and huge disappointment for us, because for some, I don't know, the maximum amount of the maximum score you can get in the competition is 100. For some programs that have more money, people that do have a score, or projects that were scored around 60, 70, were awarded with the money. But for programs with Montenegro, the projects with 98, 94 points were scored. That means that really the projects were extremely good, and the competition was extremely tough. As you can see, so far we have contracted 642 projects, and I'm saying only 2007-13. Another 163 projects were financed in the CARDS program. So far in Serbia. You cannot imagine how the CDC projects and transnational cooperation projects are a good tool, not only to promote cooperation, but to learn how to articulate your need, how to think about in which way you will implement that idea of yours, to envisage how much money you would need to do it, and then later on to implement it, because all of those programs are being implemented in English using EU procurement procedures in English. Again, EU procurement procedures for external instruments. These procedures are called practical guide procedures or PRAC procedures. These are the results in a way of, it's tiny, yes, but you can see by type of organization. Who implemented, who were the lead applicants in the project, who were implementing the project, who were project partners. A bulk of the money went into the local authorities, which is understandable, not because local authorities have the biggest capacity, but because local authorities have money to pre-finance projects. Basically, that is the biggest reason. However, we are proud to say, and this was one of the our department in integration office has a vision, mission, and goals and everything. And one of our goals was to support partnerships between public and social partners, public institutions and social partners, NGOs. And we managed to do this because we deemed very important and in order really to achieve the best results in the field. So NGOs are one of the institutions that really were very much involved. In the course of preparation of the programs, and this was really exhausting process, because we are not writing the programs in Belgrade, sitting in front of our computers. We are writing the programs the same way as we are implementing them. That means in Babušnica, Bosilegrad, Vukovar, Srebrenica, Temišvar, Bajli Herkulane, Segedin, Đala, Belgračik i tako dalje, and so on. We held 34 consultative workshops. This is only in Serbia. I'm not mentioning the events that we organized in neighboring countries. 34 consultative workshops and roundtables, 51 meetings of the working groups for preparation of the programs. We have sent more than 2,000 questionnaires and more than 2,000 questionnaire institutions and individuals were contacted. Some of those questionnaires were filled in direct discussion with the people who were interviewed, so during the interviews. It was, when I'm saying that it was an exhausting process with our capacities, it was really exhausting process, and we are really looking forward to have a break, a little bit, 7 years break. Yes. We are entering a new stage. So what came as an outcome of the preparation of the programs? On the left-hand side in this table, I'm an engineer, I like diagrams and tables, so I'm apologizing in advance. On the left-hand side are, in short, the thematic priorities that European Commission have proposed us to have within the programs. So this is a menu, and our task was to select from the menu the thematic priorities that we will have in our programs. If you go to IPA implementing regulation, I don't want to tell you now, bore you now with the numbers of regulations. However, if you go to IPA implementing regulation and council regulation, you will see the list, the extensive list of those thematic priorities. So it is not just employment; it is a bigger name. But in order to fit in the slide, I shortened this up a little bit. So thematic priority 1, employment, was chosen in the programs. Environment will be covered from all programs, and this was very clear to us in the beginning of programming process. Transport not so much. It's in the programs between Hungary and Serbia, Romania, Serbia, and Danube transnational programs. However, transport will be just tangential, touched with our programs, since we don't have enough money to make highways, and this is and the money is the next thing. This is the basic message. Tourism, culture, national heritage, also all programs. It's out of the question that we do not touch culture as a thematic priority in any program. Youth and education, as I previously said, it's only as a priority in Bulgaria-Serbia program, although it's like horizontal issue in all programs. Local and regional governance, it's very specific priority in those two programs that are stated there. These are transnational programs and the Ethiopian program, and this thematic priority is solely, it's not there to support cooperation between local authorities in the region. This thematic priority is chosen solely to create structures that will manage the macro-regional strategies. So that's why this priority is selected for those two programs. Competitiveness of the economy is in programs with Croatia and Hungary, and innovations are selected in transnational programs. Funding per program is stated there. So don't be shocked when you see how much money goes to Adriatic Ionian and Danube program. This is not the amount of money that is coming to Serbia solely. So these are the funds that are available for all states that are participating in the programs. But for the bilateral programs, these are the funds that are available for the participating states. So as you can see, there is a huge discrepancy of the amount of money available for programs with EU member states and for the programs between EU non-member states. Thank you for the copy. This discrepancy, I'm afraid that this will be like resolved only when we become a member state. Because in a previous financial perspective, an example is program with Croatia. In the previous financial perspective, our allocation for program Croatia-Serbia was the same as an allocation for program Serbia-Bosnia and Herzegovina. And now the allocation is 3 times, so almost 3 times bigger. So our allocation for program Croatia-Serbia was around 10 million euros, 11 million euros for the previous financial perspective, and now it's 34. And it's just because the EU member state is leading the program. So this is the good news, is that we have some funding. The challenges that we will have in the future financial perspective are not smaller than the challenges that we had in 2007. So we will have a problem or a challenge to coordinate strategies and the transnational programs. It is quite new, nobody knows how to do it. Not even the Baltic people know how to do it, because I've spoken with them and they have a lot of challenges. We will implement Croatia-Serbia programs in shared management mode, which means Croatian Ministry of New Funds and Regional Development is contracting authority. And for programs, and that is the biggest challenge for Serbia, with Montenegro and Bosnia and Herzegovina, there will be, again, also one contracting authority, and this contracting authority will be located in Serbia. So we will contract the partners in Bosnia and the project partners in Montenegro. We will transfer funds, we will control that. It's really new level in this computer game, and I hope that we will score. So we'll have a good score. So I hope that this was not too big and wide. This was just a short presentation of what we do, and I'm really looking forward for your questions. We are also looking forward to discuss with you in many different ways. We are civil servants, although when you translate it to Serbian it sounds differently, you know, but we talk to people and we are here to serve. When it comes to young people, because we really are of need to discuss with you in which way not only the programs can support your needs, but also how you can be involved in our work. During the summer, although people think it's summertime, so we don't have a lot of work to do, you know, but during the summer we had a lot of volunteers. So we are working with the volunteers in order to raise awareness and to include young people and new generations that we rely on very much. So thank you very much again for the invitation and giving me an opportunity to promote the